All right, so we're back on with Andrew Keehn. Andrew is our presenter for September, and we're going to have various topics. We're going to have several topics I know the group's brought to us over the course of this year. Tax questions, a little bit of infinite banking. I know we get a lot of questions on that as well. So Levi and I are definitely excited to have Andrew, and we're thank you for taking time out of your day to talk to us. I know you're getting prepared to come in September, and we're excited to have you. But we wanted to talk a little bit about your presentation. I think it's going to be two parts, and I was going to kind of share that with our audience today. So welcome, Andrew.
Yeah. So I'm going to break it into two parts. The first part, we're going to be looking at different tax strategies and kind of going over our overall process and what we're looking for. So we're looking at different tax strategies. We're looking at your business entity because in the last couple of years of being in the tax industry, I've yet to see a business entity set up correctly and completely. So we're going to look at that. I'm going to talk to you about the 5 biggest reasons people fail on tax planning and open it up for any questions. And then we're going to talk about infinite banking and building a family banking system, talk about the benefits of that, how it creates tax-free passive cash flow, how it's going to reduce your borrowing costs, how you're going to be able to grow multiple assets at the same time.
Nice.
And the other ways that it protects your family that nobody's really aware of.
Yeah, and these are topics we get a lot, and we talked a little bit before we went on and started this recording, but there's the beginners. We got a lot of beginners in the group, and we got a lot of folks that are managing a lot of properties. And I think your point to us was it doesn't matter, if you're in the beginning stages of investing or you're a seasoned investor. A lot of what you're finding is no one set up correctly, and that could be the guy starting out that's already went to a CPA, file with the state, up to the seasoned investor who never really had an operating agreement in place. So it's definitely going to be eye-opening, I think, for a lot of us is what we thought we set up correctly. Maybe we haven't.
Correct. And like I mentioned earlier, one of the big things that we've seen is, especially with real estate investors, it's all depreciation is always looked at as the way of getting around taxes. Well, what we've seen is some investors not paying any taxes, and then all of a sudden in 2021 they've got, or 2022 they've got a $200,000 or $300,000 tax bill. And I've actually got a couple other clients or potential clients that I'm going to be talking to next week. They've got the same problem. Their CPA didn't do any sort of tax planning with them, and they've got some big tax bills coming up.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're excited for the September event. I know that you've got a book you just released. You want to mention that just a little bit, what the title of that is and how we can access it?
So I'm getting a funnel built for it, and we'll have a QR code for it. It's called Building Wealth Through the Tax Code. Basically, I show you how to build tax-free wealth both today and tomorrow, and then leaving tax-free assets to your family.
Okay.
And I do want to mention there's a lot of talk right now about getting rid of step-up basis or reducing it. And I know they always talk about it, but right now is the biggest transition in wealth in history. And you bet that the government's going to get some of that money. Right. So what they're talking about is, let's just say you got a lot of real estate and you pass away. Well, the taxes on that real estate is going to be due in the year that you pass away. They're not waiting for that property to be sold, but those taxes are going to be due when you pass away.
Right.
Which is going to essentially force a sale of a lot of assets, which is going to cause more problems and more tax problems.
All right. And you're going to touch on that on our September event?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we look forward to it. I know you'll be set up out front. for folks to come in a little bit earlier and network with you and talk with you. And then we'll have the event, and like I said, a 2-part presentation so that we can keep everyone engaged. And there's going to be a lot of good information. So I would suggest everybody bring a notebook and a way to take notes. So
Yes.
all right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you, Andrew. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you. I can't wait to be there.
Absolutely.